everyone, welcome to our wellness video. For today, I would like to share with you how to lower insulin levels. According to the research and studies of wellness and nutrition, diabetes and high insulin, which is insulin resistance, is the most leading metabolic syndrome that most of our clients and patients are the cause of their death. And this is because of the hormone insulin. It is not just for diabetes, but insulin affects our overall in general health. So most of the time for the diabetes, they will realize that they already diabetic if they have this elevated insulin levels for long period of time. However, diabetes, the blood sugar level is different from the insulin resistance. So that is two different component when it comes to blood sugar, because insulin is the key to open or to for us the cells to receive the glucose, the sugar from our food, to convert it to energy. But if we keep eating a lot of processed foods, high fat foods, saturated, trans fat foods, these fat cells, our fat cells, are already full. So they cannot accept all of those incoming processed food and glycogen and glucose coming from our dietary ingestion. So what happens is our cells are already resisting all of those incoming glucose. That means the glucose that cannot enter to our cells are already floating to our bloodstream. And whenever we have this test for blood sugar, all of the sugars are already in our blood. So that is why when we test for the diabetes, we already have high blood sugar level. And also, our pancreas is not functioning properly to produce more insulin. So that is the cause of our insulin resistance. So those insulin hormone is floating in our bloodstream causes our estrogen level to get low. We have this diabetes. We have this stress hormone activated. We have this belly fat. And we have this high blood pressure. All of those are interrelated to the hormone insulin. So it is not just only the diabetes, but they call it as a metabolic syndrome. So all of our metabolism is dysfunction that it creates another disease. So how to lower the insulin levels? First is we can go fasting. Fasting is a prolonged time of not eating. So if we are not eating, the excess glycogen, that is the source of our energy. So that means we need insulin. That insulin level will go to our cells and extract those cells, those fat cells, to be used as energy. One thing that you can notice if your insulin levels are crashing and dysfunctional is because if you have this hunger levels always elevated, meaning you cannot eat, or you cannot prolong not eating for a long time because your insulin levels are crashing. So that means that your insulin is so high that when it crashes, you have these cravings. So fasting is helpful in a way for some people because they are using this energy from fat cells, and the insulin will be the key to use it. So the thing is, use short-term fasting and gradually increase it so that all of those stored glycogen or glucose will be used as energy. Second is lower the carbohydrates and processed foods. It is because when we use this low carb, but just to give a heads up, low carb is not necessarily keto. That's a different idea. So we can make a video before that. So regarding that, but low carb is not necessarily keto diet. When I say low carb, it is the type of carbohydrates. Be careful when it comes to choosing your type of carbohydrates, because carbohydrates triggers insulin. Third is less stress. When we are stressed, our muscles, our body is in a danger zone. So it produces the hormone cortisol. Cortisol, when it's elevated, it uses our muscles protein to to sugar, and from sugar it will turn into fat. So if we are going to less our stress, the tendency is the body will not produce cortisol, and cortisol mobilizing all of those muscle proteins, especially from our liver, to turn to sugar, which elevates insulin. Number four is to improve sleep. This is correlated with stress. One insufficient sleep for one night is going to elevate our blood sugar. And lastly is exercise. If you can do it, cardio, or while you are fasting, you can incorporate exercise before you break your fast. That would help for other people, but this is not will fit for everyone. So if you can do that, because while you are fasting, your insulin levels are low, and when you do short exercise, that will double up the increase of fat usage, which means your cells is releasing all of these fats, and we can lower down the insulin levels. So there are some supplements or herbs that can help to lower the insulin, such as cinnamon, berberine. Berberine is a chemical compound found in the shrubs of berberis, which is also compatible to metformin, which is a medication for diabetes. Also, you can use the potassium, B vitamins as a supplement. Also, fiber, because fiber is the food of our good bacteria, and those bacteria eat those fiber and turn into butyrate. And those butyrate improve insulin resistance. And lastly, you can use chromium and garlic to lower down the insulin levels. So I hope, friends, that helped for you today, and always take care of yourself, eat proper foods, and always I'm sending you peace, love, happiness, and always stay healthy, people. Bye, everyone.